Welcome back to Bite-Size Colts. I am Kev, and we are talking about Week 1 Colts versus Jaguars. How we feeling, gang? Let me know in the comments below what you think about the Colts and this matchup. Are they going to win? What's the spread? You got any parlays you're playing? Anybody in fantasy that you are looking at? Now, speaking of fantasy, before we dive into the actual game, let's look at the injury report and see how it might impact you. Although I hope for your sake, none of this injury report has any impact on your week 1 fantasy. Otherwise, you might be picking first next year. Once again, this is brought to you by Bite-Size Sports, proud sponsor of the Bite-Size Sports NFL Network. We have Steelers podcasts, Vikings podcast, Titans podcast. I know it's hard for me to say that one. And a Bears podcast coming, a Raiders podcast coming. We have all kinds of team-specific programs, not to mention our Necessary Roughness show every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and Another Damn Fantasy podcast Wednesday nights, and Rumbles of Red on Friday nights if you need help with some fantasy. So shout out to Trevor, Dan at ADP and Rumbles of Red. Shout out to John and Keebler and Nick at Necessary Roughness. Also Michael Allen over there. Michael's been doing his thing coaching, but at some point I think we'll see him again. Wonderful Packers content creator. Go check him out. Now back into our depth chart. Zach Moss is doubtful, as is Jonathan Taylor. Just kidding. Jonathan Taylor's not playing. But Zach Moss, we talked about this in week 1, in episode 1. We talked about this in our season preview, how they've been playing this one pretty close to the vest. And now, despite them kind of hinting at or trying to say that it looks like Zach Moss could play, and we're not ruling out anybody, including Zach Moss. Hey guys, we might play Zach Moss. Doesn't look like he's going to play. So I would say we should be looking at a pretty healthy dose of our boys, Deion Jackson and Evan Hall. But I'm going to lean more on Deion Jackson here, week 1. All right. I'd stick with what we said last time. I think Evan Hall will be more into the fold later in the season. But for now, I think it's going to be the Deion Jackson show. And I don't mind that, all things considered. But what else is there to look forward to in week 1? They being the Jaguars have Antonio Johnson and Tyler Lacey out. Let's look. Now, this is the worldwide leader in sports and their matchup predictor. 65% of you that use this site believe that the Jaguars will win. If you watched episode 1, you know how I felt going into the season about this game. Now, we have an interesting dynamic here, which this particular ESPN article mentions part of. They say the Colts are looking to end their opening day woes and start a new era against the Jaguars, while the Jaguars are also looking to snap a streak where they don't win in Indianapolis. So what will be the first to fall? I got to be honest with you. Maybe it's the Kool-Aid, maybe it's just the hype of having a week 1 to talk about. Maybe it's just the fact that I'll be live streaming on the Pro Fans app over PSF, over on the Pro Sports Fans app. Thank you. Jesus Christ. I'll be live streaming over there talking about the Colts. So go hang out with me and Justin from the Horseshoe Pride crew. We're going to be basically, it's like live tweeting the game, but while also having streams you can hang out on. And, we'll of course continue to be doing Bite-Size Colts coverage all throughout the week. But if you want to hear my thoughts live during the game, check me out there. And maybe it's all of that that's just got me thinking, if the Colts were going to surprise somebody, it would have to be week 1. They're not going to catch anybody by surprise later on in the season. And there's the other aspect of this. When you think about the shortened preseason with the added regular season week, not only are there only 3 weeks to the regular season now, but all the cuts are made at the end, and we see fewer and fewer starting caliber players playing at virtually at all in the preseason. And look at what we got last year for our week 1 product. It was chaos. There was very bad football played in lots of games, including the Colts game. I believe it was even used what what we can now confirm as an excuse for why the team didn't perform well in week 1 last year. Part of it was, oh, well, there's this whole short preseason thing, and people don't have time to get familiar with each other at game speed, all that good stuff. And then it just turned out the Colts just weren't good. But I still think that narrative can be true, even though it wasn't true for the 2022 Colts. I think it can be true for a lot of teams in the NFL whose better players didn't get to play because of injury issues or injury scares. So this could be, if there's ever going to be a week, be this one. The Colts would go out there and shock the world by beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. I did not ever think that would be a sentence I would say. But what do you guys think? Do the Colts have a chance at all of winning this game? And is this just delusional week 1, excitement for me? Probably is. But let me know what you guys think as the Colts take on the Jaguars at home today. We will check out some spreads here, look at some gambling options. Now, I will say to you, fantasy wise, I hope you have more Jaguars offensive players than you have Colts players, because I think the Jags have a good offense. I think they're going to do some things today. But who you playing? You got Pittman, maybe Downs, Alec Pierce. Any of these guys? Are you throwing them into your dailies? Get your daily questions if you have them. Get them ready for next week, and go tune into the Rumbles of Red podcast on Friday, and Trevor will help you out with all that stuff. And I'm sure he'll answer your questions on Twitter as well. So go check us out at Bite_Size Sports on Twitter and send your questions in. We will gladly answer them. Also, go join our Discord, which you can find on our Twitter as well. We'll get an invite link added, but go ahead and join us, Bite-Size Sports Discord. Ask all your questions. Spit your game, talk your shit, as they would say. It's all in good fun. We love to shoot the shit with the boys about football, the boys and the girls, anybody, everybody. You want to talk sports, come talk sports in the Bite-Size Sports Discord. What's the gambling line? Let me get this pulled up. Bear with me here for 1 second as we pull up our lines here. I gotta imagine that the Jags are favorites. Let's see. Ooh, it's not looking good. 4.5-point dogs are the Colts. The over-under is 45.5. I'm hitting the under. I am smashing that under, everybody. And I'm going to take the Jags to cover that spread. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Colts fans. If you want to have some fun and really, really get excited about diving in here, bet for the Colts to cover the spread. Then that we can get a moral victory. But let me know. You guys think we're going to win it? I don't. I would be looking at some prop bets as well. Let's see if we can have any prop bets in here. Right now, I'm looking at FanDuel. In future weeks, we'll probably look at FanDuel and DraftKings. We'll spend a little more time. We got popular same game parlay. Let me know what you guys think about this. Trevor Lawrence over 258.5 yards passing. Anthony Richardson over 187.5 yards passing. Calvin Ridley over 63.5 receiving yards, Pittman over 49.5 receiving yards, and Alec Pierce over 30.5 receiving yards. I think I'm actually going to throw a few bucks on that wager. So once again, Trevor Lawrence over 258.5 passing, AR over 187.5 passing, and then Ridley with over 63.5, Pittman over 49.5, and Alec Pierce over 30.5 yards receiving. I like that one a lot. Anytime touched first touchdown score. Who do you guys think right now? The favorite, the odds on favorite right now is Travis Etienne, followed closely by Christian Kirk, then AR, then Calvin Ridley, then Deion Jackson and Michael Pittman. So there's a little bit of a hint there from FanDuel. They seem to agree that it will be Deion Jackson more so than Evan Hull tonight. They don't even have Evan Hull as an option here unless you go down to share all or show all. And let me see who's the most the bet Parker Washington. You're really trying to make some money. Throw a dollar on Will Mallory or Tim Jones or Parker Washington to be the first touchdown scorers in this game. So, how do I see this one playing out? We're going to review our script here from the Colts week 1. I think the defense is going to struggle containing these receivers. Not only do the Jaguars have Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk, they have Zay Jones, who, if you forget, really took over the role that Marvin Jones was supposed to have there, became the number 2 and was a quality receiver. So they still have him as their third receiver. They also have Evan Ingram. They added Tank to split time with ETN in the backfield. I just think this Jaguar offense is going to be able to move the ball pretty easily in any situation where the Colts aren't able to get to the quarterback quickly. So unless the Colts are able to dial up some great pressure and force Trevor Lawrence into some bad throws, I do think the Jaguars passing attack is going to have a good day today. Colts, I think, will struggle with the pass because there won't be a lot that they can carve out in the running game. I think Deion Jackson will run hard. I don't think he's going to get 100 yards. I could see Evan Hull adding, maybe 20 to 30 yards of his own on the ground, depending on how many touches he gets. But I won't be surprised if Anthony Richardson is the Colts' leading rusher today in week 1. I hope that they use some RPOs because I think that's going to be the most effective play action that the Colts can run today, is to take advantage of Anthony Richardson's running ability. So it might not be so much that they bite on the handoff to Deion or Evan, but if there's a passing option after Anthony tucks it and everybody is going to commit to the fact that he's probably running, I think that could be a great way. Then you get Granson run a little drag route across the front of the line, and all of a sudden he's open and AR can dump it to him, or maybe even flick it back to the running back, who will probably be ignored in some of these situations. So I hope and expect the Colts to be able to move the ball a little bit. I do think they will come up short and settle for a lot of field goals. So maybe add Matt Gay as your DFS kicker today. But ultimately, I think the Colts are going to give us a great show as fans, in a sense that I think they're going to be in the game. They're going to fight hard. There's a new coach, new offense, exciting rookie quarterback, a little bit of a damper, to say the least, at the running back position. There's going to be a lot of energy in the building, a lot of rowdy Colts fans, and I do think this stays competitive into the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, I just don't think the Colts have the gas or enough players with the experience and of performing in clutch time in the NFL to go ahead and pull this win out. So there you have it, folks. I am going to predict, unfortunately, for the Jaguars to cover the spread and win by 6 or 7 points. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I would love to see it stay as a one possession game, But unfortunately, I think it's the Jags that snap their bad luck first. But that doesn't matter. What matters is what you think, folks. So let me know in the comments below how you feel about week one. If there are any other players fantasy wise that you'd be looking at, maybe ETN. I think I'm a little nervous because we don't know if that's going to be a committee situation, perhaps. So outside of the receiving core, I'll tell you what, I strategically planned to have Evan Ingram be my tight end. I built a lot of draft strategy around certain positions, and knowing that I could get Evan Ingram later in drafts, he was a target of mine in virtually every fantasy draft this year, with Gerald Everett being my fallback. In case any of you somehow still have fantasy drafts to do, I hope not. But hey, uh, no, better late than never. Nobody says you can't start one in week 2, but let us know, folks. Don't be shy. I don't know what I was going to say. Leave a like, subscribe if you don't mind, share to your friends, leave a comment below. Again, hit us up on Discord, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. You can even find us on TikTok if you'd like. Bite-Size Sports. Be sure to check out our other shows if you have friends or family who are fans of other teams in this division, or you just want to know more about our rival, the Tennessee Titans. Go check out James's podcast, Bite-Size Titans. We got John with Bite-Size Vikes. We got Simon with Bite-Size Steelers. We got Nate with Bite-Size Bears. Eventually, Sean B is going to come back and do Bite-Size Raiders. I'm really looking forward to that. A little Raider flavor for you. Anyway, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Bite-Size Giants. I almost forgot about Bite-Size Giants with Keebler, so don't let me forget that. We appreciate you so much. Kept this one quick because we doubled down with the season preview and the week 1 preview. So we'll get a recap. I still don't know how frequently, Bite-Size Colts, if it's going to be once a week, twice a week, but we will have a recap for you week 1, a week 2 preview. It might be the same episode. I don't know. Let me know if you have thoughts and feelings about that. If you need more Kev in your life, or if you're at your peak and you think, you know what, once a week would be great, Kev. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Let's build this Colts community together and add it to what is already a phenomenal existing Colts community. We're not looking to, create our own little bubble here. Let's go and join the ranks of the other great shows. And this is going to work as a bit of a brother program to the Horseshoe Pride podcast, again, which we have our own YouTube channel. So go ahead and subscribe to Horseshoe Pride, Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff. But pro sports fans, PSF, check us out. Justin and I will be live streaming the entire Colts week 1 game. So get your thoughts. You want to talk to me while we are live and throw in some same game parlays, ask some DFS questions. We'll be there to talk about it. So go ahead and download that on Apple or Android and join us. We'd love to talk with you about the Indianapolis Colts. But first and foremost, and beyond all else, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone at Bite-Size Sports. I love you guys. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we will see you next time.